Hey folks, it's Gopher back with another tutorial. This time a little piece on how I put together some of the highlight reels for some of the games from our live streams. This one obviously being Rocket League. As you can see, Adobe Premiere is my choice of video editing, but you can do this in any video editor you like. It's just the way I do it and the preferences that I do for now. Obviously it may evolve and change over the times, but this is how I've thrown together the few I've already posted up on YouTube recently. So as you can see, we've got our preview window, main window, and our timeline down here. And we've got our intro screen and title, and the gameplay starts playing. We've got the music down the bottom, and we've got our little outro screen towards the end. And it's all about a minute and a half long, so it's just a quick and easy watch on YouTube. There's not 10-minute videos to slog through just to get the ad revenue in. Not particularly fussed or bothered, so I just keep them short for people to jump in, have a quick watch, and jump out again. So I'll go through roughly what we do, or what I do, sorry. New project. So we start off, fresh slate, Rocket League stuff. And we'll pick, I have a custom one, but it's more or less just the HD 1080p 30 frames per second Rocket League goal compilation. And we have a blank slate. First thing I like to do is let's start off with our game clips. One of the easiest ones so far. We just go to a browser. Ooh, let's try a different one. So here we have some Rocket League clips. I capture these with GeForce Experience Replay or OBS, depending which gets the better results quality wise. So we've got 11 files here of regular Rocket League. In fact, let's do Rumble instead. So I'll select all the Rumble files. We've got 13 items. Drag them over into our game clips folder, and there they are. Simple, quick and easy. If we double click on one and drag this line across, we can preview our game clip. This one was captured in-game using GeForce Experience because it's got all the in-game chatter, not the replays. And the other thing we need is some graphics and some music. So just to keep everything tidy, I shall put in GFX for graphics, my quick way of doing that. And we also need titles, and if you use more than one audio clip, it's usually good to have a music or SFX folder, sound effects folder. And for this, I shall return to my gaming assets for Rocket League. And what I have here is a different selection of bits and bobs. We've got my YouTube intro that I made earlier, that can go in the graphics folder. Sometimes I like to throw in this little animated logo. I'll throw that in just for now. And we've got this replay overlay, which is a file I made in Photoshop, where it's simply just Deadbird logo up in the top corner, Rocket League logo, and this is a blank transparent screen at the same size as our video clips made in Photoshop. We drag them across. There's some player banners here, but that's for more full matches. And what we also want, I'll bring that over just in case, it's a live stream highlights text. Thanks for watching. I did have a screenshot. Where's my screenshot gone? That might be in my stream overlays. Rocket League. I we'll use this wallpaper. We'll put that in the graphics. So we've got a selection of files. One more thing that I've got to include. I've got this music that I created. It was for an Elite Dangerous video project, but it works just as well for Rocket League, so we'll drop that music in the music folder. And with the game clips in that folder, our graphics here, and the music, we're more or less ready to go. So we'll start off first by throwing in simply my little animated replay screen. Now we'll only need that up for about a second or two. Let's put it at 3 seconds. Check that down to size. We go to effects. We'll just do the typical video transition cross dissolve, which is a simple fade out. Then we need a title, because that's simply livestream highlights Rocket League replay. What I like to do is we go to title, new title, default still, and we'll call this title intro. So I can see at a glance it is a title. It opens up this screen, and what, again, just similar to the thumbnails, select the square tool, and we'll just draw a square across the video clip. And I also just like to add, I mean, you can throw in a drop shadow there, hardly noticeable, but it's there, and an outer stroke for your black line. Let's make that just 5 pixels, and we'll change the transparency to about 50%, so it's a bit see-through. Then we take our text tool, a little T up in the top, click in the middle, we'll justify it to the center, we'll type in Rumble Go Compilation. You can title it however you want. Click back on the arrow. Not happy with this font, so I shall choose a font. Always keep forgetting the name. Rajdhani is one of the Rocket League fonts, but instead of the light version we'll use the bold. We'll up the size to about 150, maybe. So can we get away with 175 without going off the edge? Yeah. Now for some reason it's set the transparency at 50, so we'll pop that back to 100, and there we go. Line it up, and we can use these center tools here to center it to the center of the screen. All we have to do is now close that, and we have our title intro, and I like to pop them in the titles folder so we know where they're all at. And we'll just layer that above our intro, and there it is. We'll make it the same length, but on this one we'll put the fade in and fade out. So now it plays and fades out. Simple enough. The next thing I usually like to put it in first is the music. So we'll take this down to an audio track, and we'll line that up. See, the audio kicks in almost straight away. So I put it just a little bit into the stream as the titles are on, and we get the music playing away. But so it doesn't overpower the video clips, if we just go to effects and we have it selected, volume, we can change that down to -12 decibels to normal, so it's a lot quieter. And you'll see why when we start adding clips. So I'll just close that folder, and we'll move to the game clips. So if we double click the first one, we've got the preview here. This was one captured in GeForce Experience, so there's a lot of bits either side. That's the end of the match, so we'll look back for the goal. There's the replay. There's the goal. So I tend to go back to where I sort of start interacting with the ball just before the goal starts, so there's not just loads of unnecessary. Oops, I'm going to miss out the bit where I missed the ball completely. So I come into the shot about now, so we'll play it from about here. We'll just mark that in so we know where to start. We'll play it through. A cheeky little goal. Boom. Wait till the goal explosion's half done and mark the end of that clip. We simply hold the mouse button down and drag that clip in, and we'll line it up just before the fade, so as it fades out, you can see on the output video here, as it fades out, the clip's already playing. And if you want to include some of the bits you can't see under the fade, we can just simply drag that over. Oop. I'll use this as a pointer. Drag that over and just extend that just a little bit. Again, it's all down to personal preference with that. So we've got our intro, fades over, and we should have our first clip. Good, come over, a little whiff, and straight. Then what I tend to do is wait about a second or two of the explosion, and we'll cut that clip to there. So onto the next clip. So we're at 3 points, 4 points, and there's the goal explosion. So we'll look back to where I play a significant part. About here. I come in, bang neat on the ball, tuck in to pass it to myself. Let the goal explosion play out a bit. Crop it on the end by marking it out. We'll drag it into our timeline. So roughly of equal size, that's a good start. Now between the clips, it just jumps. And what I like to do is usually put a crossfade in or something. Now if you want to get fancy graphics, you can do that. But for this I've been using... Is it the dissolve? No. It is a wipe, and it's the gradient wipe. It asks for a setting, so I just enter the default. Also, with the audio transitions, crossfade, and the yellow one, the default one, we just throw that in just so it smooths the audio. There's no clicks or pops or annoying audio change. So now, after I score the goal, we should have a soft transition over to the next clip. And it's a simple case of going through about there be a good start, because I know what's coming. A flip, intercept, and goal. We end that clip with the mark out, drag it down. It's only a tiny little clip, we might extend the beginning of that a little bit more. We'll see how that plays out. Once again, audio transition and our gradient wipe transition on the video. Next clip. Up in the air, grab the spikes, there's the goal. Probably a goodish place to start, we'll check it. bit into the explosion. We'll click that now. This might be a handy little clip for later, but for now I'll just pop it on there. Throw in the gradient wipe. Okay, the default settings, and again the audio wipe transitioner, I should keep saying. Next one, we're in the Mudcat. A cheeky little goal I might throw slow motion into. The slow motion's on the end. I recorded this in the replays. So the regular fast version is in front. Actually, that was a pretty good place to start it, so we'll start the clip. Skip through a little bit with the arrow keys, and we'll mark it out. And I'll drag that down the timeline, but I'm not going to join it up yet because just as the ball comes down, I've got that shot again, but in half speed. So just as that back wheel comes up into view from there to there, I'll crop that, come forward, and we'll go with the goal explosion. I might make that a little bit shorter. I'm just going to put that there because I'm going to look for the same clip. But just as that wheel comes into shot, it might not line up because each time that camera shifts slightly. I'm going to cut that bit out. And there's the explosion that matches up. I'm using C for this cutting tool, which simply, if you click somewhere on the link, it cuts your footage in half, but we don't want to do that with that piece, so I'll undo that. So there's the regular speed bit where I flip and pop it in. Press V to go back to this arrow tool. I'm going to remove that clip, make a bit of space, did I clip that down to size? No, I didn't. Goal explosion. There. With C to cut, V, we'll get rid of that bit because we don't need it. And we'll drag this slow-mo piece and join them together there. So we're placing the 100% speed footage, that was only a small clip, with a 50% speed footage. So now, as we come down, it goes into slow mode just as I flip on my back. I'll knock off the music for now. As I flip on the back and knock the ball in upside down, then back to the full speed for the explosion. Now, because we don't need a transition between them, because we need to make it look seamless, but we will need our usual transition at the beginning of the clip. Gradient. This is a spare bit I cut off, so we'll just delete that. And on to the next clip. And know what's coming, so I'll start the clip there, come back in, up the wall, backflip, and boost straight into the goal. And we end the clip. Drag it over. Throw in the wipe at the end of our other clip. And the audio. And it's a case of just building this up as we go along. So further on, one of the little things I like to do, if I copy that clip with the usual Control-C, and line that up, Control-V, paste it there. I usually find a clip just like this, and where it hits the goal, for the goal explosion, I'll just cut that clip down to where it hits the goal. Now in the music, if I turn that back on, we have this low cut bit, this low bridge, and then it kicks with a beat drop. So what I'll do is I'll listen for that drop. I'll zoom in and make it a bit easier so I can see the waveform. So it's there. And if we drag this clip up to where that goal explosion was right at the end, it lines up just as the beat kicks back in. And I'll extend it a little bit for that goal explosion. Then as the music's playing, it sort of syncs up a little bit with the gameplay, as you'll be able to hear. If the game audio doesn't shut off. So as the beat kicks in, the goal is scored. Just an extra little touch that helps the video. So I'll just remove that for now. And just for ease, so we don't have to sit through a dozen more clips of the same, I'll just copy, paste, throw them, so it's the same clips over again. I'll just pick a few more, copy them, throw them on the end. So we've got, we'll use that one, that's small enough. We'll just get rid of the ones we don't want. So you've filled up your full minute and a half, and it's come to the end of the video. I can extend that one because I'm not going to fade it to another clip. And this time we'll go back to our graphics. Instead of a fancy animated title screen at the beginning, all I have is just an outro. So what we'll do is just get our Rocket League wallpaper. I'll zoom in at the end a bit. Throw that together, we'll make it about 4 seconds long. The size of the clip reads at the bottom here. 4 seconds, that'll do. And we'll put that just so it overhangs the end. It's not covering up the goal. We have just another piece of text made in another Photoshop type way. Simply just a picture. And we'll pop that over the top. Now this wallpaper doesn't quite fit the screen, so what I'll have to do is just go in where we've got the scale, just scale that up. So it fills the screen, that'll do. And the text, I want that a little bit higher up. So we've got the position, and we'll just slide that up to the top. Then what we can do is go to title, default still, and put in title outro text. And it opens up this screen again. We select tool type, and let's say bunch of nerds. Was that a space I put in there? Yeah, it was. And you put it in like credits for me. We got Hadriel, Hunter, and Grim Reaper X. And we use the center tool. We'll align it to center. Let's pick Rajdhani again, which is the font used in game. Alt very similar to. Make that bold, throw in an outer shadow just to outline it a bit, so it's a bit easier to read. And what we can do is just select, can appear a bit laggy, and we'll just drop that down to maybe 75, so you can put in all your teammates' names, or credits for whatever or whoever. So if we just adjust the leading, squidge them together, center it, and just using the arrow keys we can move that up a bit. Let's throw in another one down here. It's already on the right text. Watch more at YouTube/deadbird online. Obviously, put your channel name in, or whatever your preference, or Twitter, or Snapchats and Imgurs and what have you. And it's, we'll just position that down a little bit. Close that, and we can simply throw that over the top. So we got our text, our 3D text picture, and the wallpaper background. If we just shuffle along to our regular transitions, we just throw in cross dissolves on all these. On both ends. Comes the end of the clip, end of the sequence. The intro screen comes in, music gone, and fade to black. That audience you could hear, we can simply solve that by putting in the audio transition, constant power, and we can drag that to be about that long so it'll fade away over the space of your outro text. And it doesn't just cut off. And there you have your clip compilation with your little intro, little outro, and your music and all your footage. And that's how I usually throw together the Rocket League compilation. Hope that's been a bit helpful, give you a few ideas. You can obviously play on it more, add your own text and overlays, graphics, and however you like to edit the clips. Hope it's been a help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.